So, hi guys, my name is Dhwani and I'm doing a podcast today with Keith Connell, professor of digital content creation and also a course coordinator. This podcast we are doing is for Dhwani Creates YouTube channel. So, I hope you guys like it and I hope you guys subscribe it as soon as possible.
So what we're talking about today is your journey, basically as an international student. And I've got to say, the first thing I want to tell you is I admire international students so much because a lot of people it doesn't sink in with a lot of people that when you come to Canada, you don't just leave your home. You leave your home province or state, you leave your country, you leave your continent, fly all the way around the world to a completely different culture. What was that like for you when you came into Canada?
So I came to Canada in August 2023 and I was all alone. Luckily, I had my brother here, but being away without family and stuff, I have never been away from my family, to be very honest. And I stayed with my brother like for a month and then I moved to Belleville to start my first year in Larche College. And then it was very tough because I had no friends. I'm an introvert person, so I cannot talk to anybody. And I used to live in a residence and it was very tough for me. Even though living with 6 people in a residence, I was never the person to come out of my room and talk to someone. Going to college, coming back to my house, and that's all I did.
So how did you deal with that? Like that had to have been really isolating.
Yeah, it was. I used to talk to my brother, my family, my friends all day long. I cannot sleep. I was in depression. I was sleep deprived, but it was like impossible to cope up with the Canada weather, the situation here. I didn't get the job for like 8 to 9 months. So it was very tough for me.
Now, you've mentioned a couple things that I'd like to extract at least a little bit. The first is weather. Now, you're from India, correct? What part of India are you from?
I'm from Gujarat, Ahmedabad, India.
That's very warm.
It is very warm. And I've never seen a lot of snow in my life.
Okay.
To be very honest, in joke, I used to talk with my parents and they used to tell me that you use 20 lakhs just to see snow here. And it's fun talking to parents like that, but it's very hot in Ahmedabad from where I am. And I used to go to Kashmir where there is snow in India, but even there, it's like you go for vacation like for a week, but here we have to stay forever and
months and months.
Yeah, I know.
And your parents don't get it because they're in South India.
Yeah.
So they're going, well, I don't understand. And really, the only way that you could appreciate any of the quantities of snow in Canada is if you were to go to the mountains.
Yeah, perfect. True. Very true.
And the other part that I want to unpack a little bit was your experience with the job market, because you said you couldn't find work.
No. So I was in Belleville for like almost 8 months. I came back to Toronto in like April 2024. I got my job in May 2024 and it's been a year I got a job, but I used to apply while I was in Belleville. I used to apply, but there was no call, no interviews, nothing. It was like 0 jobs available for international students because of course, there is a competition going on and stuff like that, but even people are racist.
And I'd like to explore that a little bit more, but continue.
Yeah, some people are like, no, we don't trust you guys because of some bad experience they have been juggling with. But even though like one bad person is not equals to everybody, like every international student is the same thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And that's something that a lot of Canadians don't appreciate or understand. I'm lucky because I get to study the international student experience. So I do get these on a different level, but I still can't appreciate your struggles. But before I started my studies, before I was a professor at Georgian, I thought Canada was a very welcoming country. We didn't have racism. We were always taught that we were the nice people.
Yeah.
But your experience is very different.
Yeah.
What was the worst situation?
So, I applied for a job and I got a call from them. They said your English is perfect. You can speak very well. You can come to work and stuff, but we can only give you like cash wages, so it's like $10 per hour, just because you are an international student and specifically because you are from this part of India. So I have seen a lot. It's not like that we are not wrong or we are right or anything like that. Everybody has 50-50 part of there, but it's like it's not our, like, we have not done that mistake.
No.
But we are trying to work for it, and we are just trying to make our career here. We came here, we spend a lot of money here, and we just expect a little bit so that we can help our family back in India. But some people who are racist, they are just like that. You take money from us, you are here just to take our jobs and stuff. But I have seen people struggling with everything here. It's like sometimes even they are having a house on rent, and that is from a local domestic person, like Canadian, and they harass that person very much. Like international students are harassed very badly. So that's an issue.
And that's something else that I hadn't been aware of until, I would say, about 2-3 years ago, where there were landlords who actually, they weren't even landlords. Let's say, for example, person A owned the house, person B leased the house, and then sublet it in dangerous conditions for students.
I know.
Where some of these international students, and you were lucky because you had your brother, but some international students are sleeping 9 people to a room. Not even a home.
I know. Yesterday only, I'm right now working I started training as a front desk associate at my Mayfair club in Toronto. So it's like a fitness club.
Yeah, I've been to Mayfair.
Yeah, so I have just started front desk associate. So I had my friend there, and she was talking about like where she used to live in Toronto. They had one building there, like apartment. There were 10 students living there, 10 boys in one apartment, 2 BHK.
Wow.
And she was coming downstairs and the door was open, and she saw that like 10 mattresses were in the hall and everything was very dirty and stuff like that. I mean, of course, but sometimes I feel like, what do you expect from them? Like, they cannot afford $600 private room or $700 private room. I mean, I cannot do that. I cannot afford that because the wage I get, the salary I get, I cannot afford that stuff.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And even when you take 10 people, whether they're international students, domestic students, or homeowners, and put them in that cramped quarters, it's going to be messy.
Yes.
Because people are on top of people, and that's just not right.
Yeah. I mean, even when I see sometimes that those people are living together, I mean, it's their mistake as well. But the owners, the lease owners, they have to check continuously that how many people are living there and how they are living. I mean, if the owners don't care about their houses, in the end of the year, they come and tell that it's your mistake. That's not right as well. It's like 50-50. If you are into it, they are into it. It's not just they come to you and you give it to them. It's your lease persons who gave it to them. So it sucks, but anyways, it's like we are trying to do our best to make our careers and try to give some like 20% of the amount to our family to like, they have done a lot of for us. Like, they have taken loan for us. They like ask us to get here and study whatever we want to. I was talking to my dad yesterday and he was like, if you want to study more, I don't mind. I can get loan out of it. I can do anything for you. That's fine. And I feel very lucky to have a family like that because they don't care what I'm doing right now. They don't care about the relatives. They care, but they don't care about relatives talking what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm making my own brand right now. I'm trying my best to do that, and I have my bad and good times right now. But I'm just thinking that I have support of my family, my friends, my brothers, and I'm happy with it. But that's all it takes for one person to get out from that racist negativity and everything going on around them, and to be positive just with these things.
Now, you're very lucky because you have a family who's capable of getting loans. You have family in Canada.
Yeah.
But imagine some of these international students are coming to Canada and the families are having to sell their homes, sell their farms, sell their land, their livestock. And really, you've got one shot for success because they're not your family, but the international students' family have basically invested everything they have.
Yeah.
Such pressure for a student. You've got a little bit better of a scenario because if you have a rough day, you can come home and you've got family who get you, who've had that connection to mom and dad back home.
Yeah.
But imagine if you're all alone.
I know. So I have one friend in Canada only. So he's like, he has his family back home, but he has done, their family has done everything. Like, they have put a house on lease for him and give the money and everything. And he's here struggling for PR.
Okay.
And if he don't get PR, he cannot go back home.
And with the IRCC changes, it's really hard at this point.
I mean, sometimes I feel like the money the Canada is getting, sometimes it's from international. The half of the money they are getting from the international student. The amount they are getting from the it's too much. But sometimes I feel they should look up to international students and they should think that some students are actually capable and they should get PR here because they work very hard, even a labor job.
Yeah.
They do it very happily. They don't complain about anything, and they do it every day from night to second day of 24 hours. They work for a labor job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not good for our body.
No.
But they do very happily just because they want that money and they have a hope that they will get something after they are done.
Yeah. And you had mentioned earlier about these rotten eggs spoiling the batch. And yes, absolutely. I will acknowledge that there are some, we call them diploma mills in Canada.
Yeah.
Where they're street corner or a strip mall and it's a college. And international students are coming into Canada. But one of the things that a lot of people don't pick up on is that that's not the international students' fault. They're being given information, if I'm correct from your experience, I would guess it's similar through an agent.
Yeah.
And the agent's going, oh no, come to Canada because this college is perfect for this. It's great. Yeah. So you're coming in good faith.
Yeah. So I heard about an experience of a student, international student. So he put his visa from an agent, XYZ agent from India.
Yeah.
Okay. And the agent said, this college is very good. This is the amount. This is very good for you and stuff like that. The student come here. He goes to college. In a week, that college closed.
Oh no.
That student has no degree. And the visa, it feels like it's illegal.
Yeah.
He has no job. He has no money. He just have GIC he come with. And that's all. He cannot get admission in any other college. And he has to go back.
Oh. And that's the end of a dream.
Yeah.
And I know that for some students, Canada is a portal to an education where they want to, I don't want to call it a brain drain. A brain drain is where people come into the country or the people, the domestic students study and then they leave. That's a brain drain. I don't want to call it that, but the students come to Canada and they want a good solid education and then they go back home.
Yeah.
And that's part of the dream. Other students have a dream of PR and making a better life for themselves with probably the intent of bringing family over as well. And Canadians look at this and they, like you said, well, they're stealing our jobs, but not really.
Yeah.
Because we're in a situation, and one of the struggles that I have as a prof is I hear some of my colleagues, not from this college, but other colleges, saying, well, you know what, that's not right because international students are taking positions or places in education from domestic students. And that's not correct. In fact, Rob Ford almost came right out and said that. And that's not really correct because colleges have this pool or this section of their enrollment that's dedicated to international students. And then another one that says, okay, this is domestic students. And so an international student is not taking the domestic student. But
they are not.
Have you found that you get sometimes looked at as a student? People going, oh, you know what, you're taking a domestic student's position at a college, not just the job.
Yeah, they do. I mean, even in bank sectors and stuff like that, people are like, you are just taking our jobs just because you are here and you just want PR and stuff. But they have studied for it. They have done hard work for getting that job. It's not like they come and they said, no, just remove that domestic guy and take me.
Exactly.
They are not doing the stuff. They are doing hard work, and they are doing it with all the expectations the job has. Skills the job wants. They have it. That's the reason they are getting this job. So I don't understand people telling the stuff online as well. Right now it's like online generation, but
online it's horrible.
It's horrible. And as a digital content creation student, I know how it feels.
We're training you to look there.
But even though if we look there as a positive side, if we make our social media positive, some people will come to us and they will like, no, you are stealing our stuff, and that's all. They don't go through any other things. They just speak one word and that's all. They just have to say one sentence to us, and it feels like we have done nothing. Like international students have done nothing, and we feel like we are in depression and we cannot do anything else. I have heard a lot of like 90% of international students or the people who are on work permit have left Canada and are back to India, and they're starting from zero now.
Okay, so you've been in Canada for 2 years? So you've been in Canada for 2 years. You've experienced a Canadian... Actually, you've picked a couple real hot spots for winter. Belleville and then Barrie. So you've had two, I'm going to say, substantial winters. You've experienced a lot of racism. You've experienced some exclusion. You mentioned, and this is the part that really jumped out at me through everything we've said, is that you have one friend in Canada, you said. And I'm assuming that's the one domestic friend. So you've only been able to befriend one person, not because of personality, but because of circumstance. So all that considered, if you were to be able to go back and tell your 2-year younger self any advice, would you come to Canada first off?
No. To be very honest, my brother has his own business in India. He's in the same line as I am in. So he's in events management. He handles everything. He does have cameras set up and everything there. My dad was a government cameraman.
Oh, perfect. So it's in your blood.
He is retired now, but it's in my blood. But if I would have taken this decision again, like 2 years before, I would have not come to Canada, even for studies, because I have done my studies in performing arts. I have done my part. It's like 2 years extra of my life I have given to studies, and I'm happy with it, that whatever I have done here. But it's like I have put a lot of money in this, and I at least hope to get something out of it when I go back to India one day, and I have something with me. But if I don't get, I would suggest myself, just 2 years younger, never go to Canada. Just make yourself a brand in India itself, because in India now there are many opportunities they have opened up for people there. It's like social media is growing, the digital world is growing, even filmmaking is growing back there. So if I would not get anything from this here, like I have 3 years of work permit, like postgraduate work permit now. So I have 3 years of time. So this is the reason I'm doing this podcast, and I'm trying to promote my brand and stuff. But if I don't get anything from this in 3 years, I would say to my younger self that I have made a huge mistake doing this, and I would just stop my younger self there only.
Now let's jump ahead 2 years. You're an experienced, we'll call it veteran of the Canadian culture. What advice would you give to somebody back home who's going, I wouldn't mind studying in Canada? What advice would you give them?
To the people who wants to come to Canada, The place is very great. If you want to come for a vacation, it's great. Very nice. If you have a career back there, don't waste that.
Okay.
If you come here just for studies, just make sure you're coming here for studies.
Okay.
Don't run for a job and get disappointed, as we have no experience doing labor jobs back in India.
Right.
We are doing this from zero. We are starting it from zero. And if you come here, start a job, it's a very happening place. You will learn a lot of stuff here. It's good for study, vacation. But go back to India, start your own career or your brand or whatever you are doing before coming here. But you have to make sure you are strong enough to stay here. The weather can be harsh, but you will enjoy all types of weather like spring, summer, rain, snow.
All in one day.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great. It's full of surprises.
Yeah.
Even colleges, the students of colleges are great. The professors are great. But you have to be strong enough mentally and physically to come here.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I guess that's all. But yeah, it's great that I can talk to a person who actually have studied international students. Yeah, and you try very hard to know everybody pronunciation perfectly. So it's like gift to us as an international students, because if our professors don't understand us, we are like it's like we are here and it's waste of time.
You're just a face in the crowd.
Yeah, so it's good.
I work hard on the pronunciation of the names because you mentioned a gift. And I consider the name the biggest and most cherished gift that a parent can give a child.
Yeah.
And in various cultures, that's most significant. And I want to make sure that I do understand how to pronounce the name. But I also, if you recall in one of the first classes, I want to know the history of your name. Was it a family name, etc.? And I think that understanding the student, understanding where they're from, and I don't just mean geographically, but psychographically, helps connect the dots a little bit and make it a stronger class, because I believe that your gift to our classroom, and every international student brings a gift, is diversity. Where I might look at something and go, well, you know what? I've created this and it's really great. Yeah. But recognizing that different cultures have different perspectives, and that's so exciting.
Yeah, I know. It's very great. I mean, I was talking to you on that Start Making of Sense. We had an event on Georgian College. My mom's coming next month. She's coming for my graduation.
That'll be so exciting.
And touch wood, I'm planning that you will be at graduation.
We're all hoping.
We all are hoping. So yeah, but with you and even all other professors, they have made a comfort zone for us to come to talk to them, and they have given us like a very wide space to talk about our mental health and also about our stuff going on, like stress we are going through, about the assignments and stuff. We graduated from digital content creation, and I feel like it's been 8 months.
It's been a blur.
And it's a roller coaster ride. We had a lot of happy times. We had like stress times when we had exams and assignments back to back. Yeah. But you guys made sure that we have enough time to complete everything. And you guys also had talked to us like one-on-one, or also had proper communication through emails as well, that if we are feeling stressed, we can come out and talk to you guys. So it's like, it's actually, we feel very blessed to have professor like this. And of course, we appreciate you guys doing stuff for us. And also, I feel like if international students are coming here, they should try Georgian College, because I have done digital content creation in Georgian College, and I have got like bunch of great professors in my course. So I'm very happy about it. So yeah, thank you for that.
Oh no, thank you. how do you follow up on that statement? It was, we do try very hard, and we're constantly trying to improve the curriculum, but more importantly, and I can only speak for myself, but I know that others in our program and the profs are always looking at how we're delivering. We're also looking at, is it effective? Not just from a textbook standpoint. What I mean by textbook is that this is how you teach. Yeah. Well, as you know, I throw the textbook away because I don't teach like most people teach. But at the end of the year, I reflect and I go, was it effective for my students? If not, how can I change to make it a better experience?
Yeah. Thank you for asking this great questions, Keith. But if you're okay, I'll be asking you a few questions.
Absolutely.
Great. So, Keith, when and how you started this journey of yours?
My journey?
Yes.
Okay, it depends on how far back you want to go.
So, I would like to know your teaching journey and the podcast you are doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would love to know that.
Okay, so my journey starts way back when I was 16.
Okay.
I was one of the stereotypical students who, I'll say, didn't give a damn in class. I was a little rebellious, where teachers would ask me to do stuff, I wouldn't do it. And finally, out of a complete exasperation, one of my teachers looked at me and said, in front of the entire class, you were going to be nothing but a garbage man. Now, back then, that was an insult. And it was like, oh my gosh, no. And it really hit me. And then what happened was I started to study. And at the end of the semester, I walked up, slammed my report card down and went, see, I'm going to be more than a garbage man. He looked me right in the eyes and he said, I knew that all along. And my 16-year-old self, as arrogant as I was back then, my jaw dropped. And I went, he played me. And at that point, I wanted to teach. I felt that if I could reach one student academically the way he reached me, what a career. Yeah. And so I went to college or university. I got my degree in, believe it or not, Shakespearean literature and Canadian poetry. Not a whole lot you could do with those, but I was trying to be an English teacher at high school. And i.e. the teacher that reached me was my English teacher.
Okay.
And that kind of fell through because it was a really competitive field back then. And I moved into marketing and I developed this passion for brand, this passion for communication. My personal slogan is design, create, communicate, as well as dare to color outside the lines. So I developed this passion, and all the while I'm looking at different ways that I can enhance my brand. And podcasting was one that was natural because I've always been very, very comfortable in front of a microphone. I, like you, am an introvert. And I know people look and go, what? No, you're not. And I am, actually. I would rather be sitting at home quietly than going out to a party. It's just not my style. So in 2015, and this is a story that is actually something that warms my heart. And this is for all you Canadian fans out there. But there's a rock band called Rush.
Okay.
And if you ever get a chance, listen to Rush. Okay. It will change your brain. But anyhow, I was watching a documentary, and Neil Peart, who's the drummer, was considered in the top 2 or 3 drummers of rock history. Okay. The guy was incredible. And at the height of his career, he went, I want to learn how to drum all over again. So he turned to not Kelly Gruber, that's a baseball player, Freddie Gruber, and he basically said, teach me how to drum. So he learned how to drum all over again. Okay. And as I'm watching this video, I'm going, that's me. I'm at the height of my marketing career. I've been a marketing manager, a brand manager, an ambassador, etc., for about, at that point, 25 years. Okay. And I'm thinking, maybe I should go back to school. So I went back to Georgian to get an advertising marketing communication diploma. And at the time, I started that, and I kind of got bored quickly, so I took a second diploma as well at the same time. But then as I graduated from that program, I was hired as a professor. And then from there, it moved on, and the podcasting was just natural for me because at that point, this is a natural communication mode for me. I love this environment. I've had several podcasts, and I am going to be launching a new one. Ironically, this is kind of why we're talking, because it's going to be about international students and their level of my PhD study, my field of study is going to be in how an international student's first year of experience impacts their desire to persist in college. So that's going to be part of my podcast going forward. So it's kind of a long, winding road, but it's got me to where I'm truly happiest in my career.
Yeah. To be very honest, talking with you from the first day of semester till here, the podcast, like the love for podcast for me has been through you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I have listened to you in class and everywhere. You talked about podcast a lot. And from the very first day I have heard you talking about that, I know that I have to do this. I know I can do that. Because talking to one person, I can do that very well. Making communication or making conversation with one person continuously, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do camera work. I can do recording. I can do that stuff. But yeah, thanks to you, I am into podcasts now.
Oh, well, thank you.
And this is the first podcast I'm doing with Keith, and this is going on my YouTube, Keith.
Excellent. So what is your podcast title?
So this will be like, I'm still thinking, but yeah, I'm planning to do like international student talks or something. But right now my YouTube name is Dhwani Creates. But what I'm planning to do in that is, this is the first video we are talking about everything. And I'm mostly planning to do a lot of mental health stuff.
Excellent.
So I want to make sure that people come out to talk about that, because nobody talks about that much.
No.
So yeah, I'm planning to do that. Also, yeah. So about that, so you like had time to, okay. You studied as digital content creation, and you had a course like website designing and media project management.
Yeah.
So as our class, how do you like talking to some international students and half of the class are domestic? So how did you like that?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
And as a professor, I want to say that this year's cohort was a cohort that I connected with, like, I'm going to say like no other. And I'm going to tell a little bit of a story that to this day, as you were there for the one event where I was in tears talking about it, because it meant so much to me.
Yeah.
Where online you have a group of students who generally don't communicate when we're online, because it's either typing out or just listening or vacuuming or dust, whatever. And I recognize that.
Yeah.
But, what happened was, one day I started my class and I was recording, and it was great. And I was asking questions, no one answered, which is par for the course online. So I carried on, and I started to talk about this file on my Google Drive. And so I went to it, and I saw a student there clicking around and typing. I'm like, oh, cool, all right. And so they're using it right now. That's great. And about 55 minutes into the class, all the students started going, Keith, are you okay? But I didn't see anything. All I saw was the frames of you, because fortunately I had my one computer here, and I had my monitor computer over here, so I could see everyone talking.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear anything, so that's weird. So I typed in the response, and I went, what's going on? And I learned that the students were genuinely concerned for my safety.
Yeah.
And that, to this day, will stay as the epitome of my career.
Yeah.
Because at that point, not a single student left.
No.
Everyone stayed. And so I think for me, that was the point where I connected with the group as a whole.
Yeah.
Or at least for me, it was in my heart. And now, going back to your question, it's sometimes difficult because I recognize that when we're dealing with international students, and we had some students from Colombia, we had some students from India, etc. So globally, we have different pockets of educational systems. In India, for example, some of your systems, as I know, are Confucian-based model, where some are Socratic-based. And what I mean by that is Confucian-based is you do not ask the professor questions, you do not talk in class, because that's not what it's there for. The prof is there as the holder of all knowledge. And in Socratic, it's more, wait, I don't agree with that point. You're going to change that, and arguing and discussing it. So those that come from the Socratic educational model, such as Western cultures or some parts of India, very comfortable talking in class, going, no, I don't agree with that. And then the Confucian-based education systems, the students are very quiet. So it's a struggle because I want to know what you guys are saying, or not saying, but what you're thinking. And it's difficult for the student because they're going, I've not been trained on this. I'm not allowed to do this. So recognizing that, I found that the best way to handle it was one-on-one communication, breaking off into little bits and pieces so that we can talk to maybe 2 or 3 of you. But I was always cognizant when I was doing this to try to either sit or kneel so that we're eye level. So there's no hierarchy in the classroom. So that was just one of my strategies.
So what one advice would you give to our graduating class that are done with our courses but are going through our career growths now? So
you're done now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, me too.
So congratulations on that. Never lose your passion, because your passion is going to be what sets you apart from others.
Yes.
Those that have no real interest in what they're doing, no passion, they're going to do it, but it's all going to be kind of second rate. Those that are passionate are the ones that are spending 20 minutes going, oh, you know what, that camera's grainy. You got to bump up the lights, and trying to figure it all out to make it just perfect. That level of, I'm not going to say perfection, you don't always have to achieve perfection, but that level of attention to detail is what's going to set you apart from everyone else. And that's what builds your reputation. Because if you truly, and this is my biggest piece of advice I can give to you guys, is if you truly enjoy what you do, you will never work a day in your life. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much, Keith, for taking your time and talking with me. I'm very grateful for you doing this with me, to be very honest. And I know last time when we had this podcast, we were not able to record it properly. The voice was not good. And you made sure that we do this one. And on the last day of our college, I emailed you and you responded very quickly. So I'm actually, I have no words that how much grateful I am to you. The podcast, the idea, everything, it's just because of you, to be very honest.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Keith, for taking your time and doing this with me.
Totally my pleasure.
Thank you.
This podcast was recorded at Georgian College's Larche Family Studios in the Peter Moore building, N304. We want to take this chance to thank the manager of the facility, Dwight Leahy, for your generous time donation and basically letting us use this studio. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dwight. Thank you so much. Also, we are doing this at Larche Studio at Georgian College. So huge shout out to them. Thank you so much. Thank you, Keith.
Okay. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
Thank you.